Hello and welcome. My name is Vex, and today is Friday. And today we've got probably one of the juiciest and most diverse leaks we've gotten from the Fateless crew for Godforge in a long time. They gave us the heads up that Friday leaks would be slowing down towards the end of last year, and we had like a good 2, maybe 3 months of like leaks every Friday, but it was clear that that couldn't persist for very long because they had sort of run what they were willing to show us. And it seems like they've given us like I don't know, like back pay. I don't know how to describe it for how long it's been since like the regular Friday leaks. So we got a ton to go over today. But first, I wanted to talk about the Fateless merch store where you can pick up some Fateless and some Godforge loot. The crew over at Fateless have been kind enough to give me a discount code. So if you wanted to pick something up, but you thought it was specifically 10% too expensive, you can use code VEX10 at checkout and get yourself 10% off. I think I'm gonna pick up the jade mug or the t-shirt. I haven't decided. Maybe both. Sweatshirt, I can't do. Honestly, it's not a price thing. It's not anything like that. It's like a neck thing. I really can't do like hoodies that pull over. I really wish that more stores would do zip ups, but they're like way more expensive to produce, and like it sort of breaks up the design. Like I get why. That's a me thing. Why am I talking about this? I might pick up the shirt and the mug, specifically for the Jade Empire because, obviously, Sun Wukong. Yeah. I don't know if I talked about this in the last video, but if you're curious as to what I've been working on related to Fateless and Godforge merch, stay to the end of the video, or I'll probably have a timestamp so you could just like skip the entirety of me yapping about these leaks and head right there. But for now, use code VEX10, all one word, VEX10 for 10% off at checkout. Okay, let's get to the actual leaks. So first off, we have like what appears to be some sort of presentation that they've given us access to look at. This is an art attack. So that's like sort of when they present everything that they've been working on in one go. I imagine they can, discuss a lot of different things in one meeting, that type of thing. I'm actually going to turn my Silent Hill soundtrack down a little bit because it's deafening me. Okay, so we've got... I don't even know who this guy is. This looks like maybe a Titan. This could be a boss. It just says... Oh, it says... It says... so I can't zoom in. Can I zoom in? I can zoom in. I'm like getting closer to my screen so I can see. It says Asag. Let's look this up. It's a demon. Sumerian underworld demon. Oh, this is for the Saba group. I think it is. Interesting. I still think that this could be a boss. They could make him just like a big guy, kind of like Demon Lord in Raid, where it's just a big guy. You fight like his upper half, and he like slams down on the ground or something like that. He looks kind of cool. I like the. It kind of looks like his lava's coming through his skin. His like rocky skin, you can kind of see it through. That looks good. I can never say this. Virage. This is a legendary creature. Thinking about Magic together. Legendary character. Perun weapon. So Perun is the character. Man, I'm gonna have to look all these up. Perun. In Slavic mythology, Perun is the highest god of the pantheon and the god of sky, thunder, lightning, storm, rain, law, war, fertility, and oak trees. Damn. Legendary summon, Nord. This is my new commander. I mean, very storm god type looks. Looks like he's gonna be definitely a god of war with a bunch of different types of weapons. I kind of really like this axe. And the lightning effects that they've drawn here looks really good. Curious to see what they went with for the final thing, or if he's just gonna like dual wield. Kind of fitting that he's the god of oak trees and has an axe as one of his weapons. I mean, it's like a battle axe, not a wood chopping axe, but whatever. Izanagi. Okay, yeah. So I think we saw Izanami, right? In a previous Fateless video. So this is Izanagi, who is husband, right? The first gods to inhabit Japan. She who invites and he who invites. Interesting. Oh, they gave him a gourd. Man, I've been thinking about getting a gourd. There's a bunch of like Black Myth Wukong like drinking gourds that you can get, and they look so cool. He's got a Wakazashi. It looks like he's got a ton of layers, which I like. And I hope that, unironically, I hope that they looked at a lot of Honkai Star Rail character design for a character like this, because it's very clear that there's a lot of layering that needs to happen and a lot of flowiness that needs to happen, and those characters are just like, they're flowy, layered clothes to the max. Lots of dangly bits. And again, we've got this like circular halo thing behind his head. We keep seeing that come up. Oh, he's even got the... Yeah. These are like the... I don't know what they're actually called. These like pips. These are something that are very specific to him. And if you see anything that's related to Izanagi or like lightning, you'll see these symbols. Man, I wish I could remember things. It's very prevalent in Shinto religion. Bless you. They kept the gourd. Okay, we've got Kate Sith. Oh, I think we knew about Kate Sith. The first images are from Final Fantasy VII. A type of fairy in Scottish mythology. Oh, so this is going to be... If it's a character, if it's a playable character, it'll be part of the Avalon faction. Kind of reminds me of a Displacer Beast. I hope that us getting this type of information doesn't mean that we won't ever see anything more leak-wise or reveal-wise from these characters, because I'd really like to see, and I've asked them multiple times, like, please show us more like inspiration boards and the like concept art process in progress. That's definitely I'm really interested in that and want to see more of that. But here we go. Here's a Displacer Beast. We're just missing the little like teeth at the end that touch you and teleport you, and the like extra limbs. Who is this? This might be, well, this is clearly early days. Concept art, but who? What character? This doesn't look like a Japanese inspired character. I don't know. What god pulls a dagger from heart? What? I'm just getting Bible verses on Google. Banshee? Yeah, it might just not be like a playable character or like somebody who is a god, myth, or legend. It could be, you know, like we had seen in a previous league, orcs and, you know, things like that. So it could just be a, you know, an uncommon character or something like that. Different variants make sense. Human male, Merlin. We saw Merlin through the concept stage. I don't think we saw a 3D Merlin before. So now he's fully done. Someone in the Discord had asked why he has a twig coming out of his ear. And Simon responded, he's a fairy. I thought that was super funny. Oh my god, the frog. I forgot about the frog. This is so good. I really hope that the frog, like, breathes. He looks like he robbed Medivh. His staff's cooler than Medivh. No, I just want pictures. I think Medivh might have actually been on the inspiration mood board when we had taken a look at it. He's like the what's his name? Like his title. Like he was the guardian of Karazhan, but like what, that has a name, right? I forget. He's got like a crow or something, or a raven. Only because it's a real frog. If the owl was real, it would be better. I really hope this like breathes and blinks. That would be so cool. I think it looks really good. Sir Henry White. Player power, passes, events, quest. Okay. Main screen, Stonehenge Sanctum. Oh, interesting. This is something that I never understood with the sort of hero collecting genre. There's always a, you know, a home screen or whatever. It's fine. But there's never any like customization. Like in Raid, they've started to, I guess they've been doing it for a while. Every like major holiday, they'll populate the home screen with like a bunch of fun stuff. And it just like, you know, like decorations and things like that, which, you know, it looks really cool. But then as soon as the event's over, it goes back to being super fucking boring. And there's no customization, there's nothing like that. This kind of screams to me that there's going to be different home screens for different factions depending on maybe your progress through the game or something that you pick personally. Like, oh, hey, I really identify with the Aru, which is the Egyptian faction. So I really want my home screen to be just all Egyptian architecture and things like that. Because this is very much the Avalon faction. You've got like this Stonehenge looking thing here. You've got a castle gate, castle walls, a big sort of like, you know, I don't know what age, medieval type building. A factory. Things that are very clearly not like Japanese or Chinese or Indian, things like that. Be interesting to see maybe if over time you could like unlock them or something like that. Or like when you start the game, you pick one. That's actually super, super interesting. I think the only thing that this loses, and I didn't know it was something that I liked until I played Watcher of Realms. In Watcher of Realms, the home screen is like a campfire. It's like a little camp site that you've set up, and there's people and NPCs and characters that you interact with in the game and play as that are the ones who you click on to summon or something like that. So like you're close and up and personal with these characters, and they give you quests and things like that. This is a very, removed from that. You only see the buildings, you don't see people. I don't know. I don't know which I prefer, but I never thought about the sit around the campfire version. And I think I do enjoy that. Anyway, let's keep going. Forge of Wayland. Is it different for... Do you think you could upgrade the buildings? This could just be different types. Wandering Merchant. Chapter Hall looks bigger. Godforge looks different. I wonder... That could be interesting too. Like, instead of a shop that progresses with you, Watcher of Realms does this as well. You just have various parts of your campground, of your home screen, that you level up over time. And as you level them up, the building changes. Yeah, like the forge starts as this, dainty blacksmith, and increases to this, like, factory. The market grows from one building to many buildings, or, the other way around. The chapter hall gets bigger. I kind of really like that idea. And that's even crazier if you think, like, if there's going to be a home screen for all 10 factions, that means there's going to be, theoretically, if these upgrades are real, upgrades to all of the different factions as you go through. Oh, man. But thinking back to, like, a bunch of the weekly leaks that we went through, a lot of their game, or a lot of their designs for environments were made to be, what's the word? Man. Where they, like, link up really easily. Sort of like Legos. You can build them together easily. And just, like, replicate it a bunch. Tileable? Yeah, tileable, I guess. Yeah. So it seems like from the beginning, they've been building things in a way that is easier to just sort of make them bigger and make them into things that are bigger. And they fit together very well. They're not just making, like, one-off assets that, like, can't be combined with anything else. But it's more than just everything is the same aesthetic. They, like, intentionally built things to be placed together if need be, but can exist on their own. And I pointed that out, I think, when we did one of the bigger leaks where we saw, I remember, like a market stall, but it had, like, a thatch roof, and it was 2 roofs wide, and then there was a wider one that was 4 roofs wide, and it was just one doubled. And then it was 4 roofs on 2 sides, so they took 2 of them and put them back to back, and it just looked very natural. So if they do that throughout everything else, I think the scale works really well. Man. Okay, let's move on. Oh, man. Keeps going. These could just be different iterations. The quest board changed. Chapter hall is a little bit different. This is definitely a concept, but... Special offer, Sir Henry White. Saphira got Zeus. Nice. Clearly going to be an in-game chat. Did my music stop? No. Okay, this is just a different version of it. Version 3, this is version 4. Yeah, I definitely I don't really like the one that we had seen in their demo, their like main screen. It felt like too far away. I think this one seems pretty good and pretty like lived in. Whoa. This is AI, right? Kojiki Realm Stage 4. Interesting. Well, this is 5 people in the team. Could you always have 5 people? I thought it was only 4. Oh, maybe it's for the secret room? It's just like an extra... This could have been early days too. Cuz I'm 90% sure that they have not changed it from 4 characters on the screen to 5. We've seen demos and it's only 4. This could have been early days. Trying to see if there's any other info that we could grasp. What's... Maybe get a cheerleader. Can you imagine? Fucking, oh man, what's his name? The Ronin. 2 swords. I can only think of, literally, weeb swordsman. Musashi, there we go. Jesus. I was like, Mitsurugi, Samurai Jack, Samurai Champloo. No, these are not what I need. Musashi, can you imagine Musashi in the background just like Fortnite dancing? Go, go, go. Miyabi. Yeah, Miyabi. Damn, if they add Miyabi to this game, it's over. It's over. Okay, that's it. I'm not quite sure the difference between these two. It could have just been like a mistake that they put 2. Or there's just something that I'm missing. I don't see the difference. But this seems early days. They've got 5 characters. It could even be like maybe this is like a backup. I don't understand. It says only Aru heroes, and there's no Aru heroes to be seen in this team, so I don't understand. Terraria crossover? Heck yeah. You never know with that game. Okay, let's move on. There's more. There's more. This isn't it. This isn't it. We got a couple videos to go through. This is... I want to pause it. The world map for the campaign mode. Duh, it says campaign right there. So much like in any other Hero Collector raid, there's a campaign that you progress through, and in this game, it seems as if each world each chapter, I guess, is its own faction, and you progress through all of the factions, maybe learning their stories, and hop into 10-3 to farm whatever you need to farm. It's interesting. I don't know. I wonder if they'll keep this. This is very much a... I don't know. This seems like a very mobile game. I don't want to be overly... Yeah. It's a very mobile game. I dig the art. It looks like they've like sort of piecemealed things together, which makes sense because each one is its own like biome, kind of. Very very Civ. That's a good. That's a good comparison. I didn't think about that. I'm just not in love with the like the little trail. I could see them doing like footsteps in between. It's very mobile game. I'm also I'm super interested to see if the UI will stay like this, because the UI's been pretty much the same since they've started to reveal like what things look like in game. And since then, they've picked up a couple of UI artists and developers, and things don't look like they've changed, which is kind of strange when you introduce someone who's newly in charge of UI and UX design. Namely, because like I have been pushing off the idea of like seriously breaking down the UI of the game. We don't get it here. There's like the character screens and things like that. I'm not in love with it. It's not my favorite, but it doesn't mean anything, right? It's just interesting that nothing has changed, and I'm curious to see if this will all make it to live because it's, I don't know. Something about it seems very much like if I spent the time doing it, I could do, and a lot of other games have UIs that are super interesting and unique that I could not hope to do. Yeah, VFX would definitely help make the road look a little bit better. It looks like somebody just took a pen and wrote along it. That's not to say that the UI is bad. I'm just saying it's interesting that it hasn't changed, and I'm curious to see if it will change or will stay the same as more things are added to the game and whatnot. We'll see. Okay, so that's that. There's even more. Let's keep going. So here's some visual effects from abilities. The last leak video that we talked about. No, not the last one. The one previous to that, where we looked at VFX, is the same. Is there a loop button? It's the same effect that's on the right here. It was sort of like a. This ability has been bestowed on you, and you're getting a buff. And then this one on the left is clearly a heal. And then this is clearly a shield, and it says it here. We've got shield, we got regen, we got radiance, whatever radiance means. Seems like they've been careful enough to not include any extra. Wait, hang on. Art, characters, Lady Zoc, animations, animation controller, ATR, Lady Zoc controller, local file identifier doesn't exist. Something's going on with Lady Zoc. Someone moved some files and it can no longer recognize. That's funny. I really like this though. I think the visual effects that they had previous to maybe even like 2 months ago didn't seem nearly as polished, which makes sense. They were earlier on in development, and they've picked up a ton of new people that really know what they're doing, or at least it seems like it. And it just, I don't know, the abilities before seemed kind of like cheap and kind of like store-bought assets, which is fine. But these feel like tailored to the genre, that tailored to the characters. I don't know, it just feels a little bit better. In this scene alone, there are 56,000 polys. Holy shit. Oh my god. Okay, we've got hot loops. So we saw the stills of these. It's not animated, so it's just the stills. More Medivh / Merlin. Oh, I didn't even notice the thing on the back of his head. He's got this, like, I don't know, looks like a gem or something hanging down. Potions, spell book. Dagger. He's got like a CS karambit. Yeah, this looks so good. I think I said it before. He looks like it looks like a druid transmog from World of Warcraft. It looks so good. Clearly he's going to be legendary. I'm curious to see what his abilities might be. Okay, so that's it for the leaks for today. Gathering magical herbs. Okay. I can get behind that. Oh, you're saying his knife. You're saying his knife. I really like the magazine of spell scrolls he's got going on. Like that's kind of unique. I'd never seen that before. Frog has yeah. It even has like a little like it's reinforced. It's so good. He's like leaking out of his back. That's gross, but he's got to have a name, right? I'll have to troll around the Discord and see if anybody has proposed a name. Okay, let me do this quick. So I'm going to show off some things now that we've looked at the end of the leaks. It's all over the staff too. Yeah. Oh, maybe we'll come back here. Let me look at Merlin's staff. You can see the goop sort of at the bottom. Looks like maybe some kind of moss or something. I don't know. Okay, so we've come to the end of the leaks, but I promised a little bit of juice, a little bit of spice. So we had talked about the merch store, and previously I had talked about in our previous video that I was inspired. And I was a little disappointed, but I was reassured that more merch and more interesting merch was on the way. So I took it upon myself to create a couple things. I've got more in the bank that I'm not willing to show off because I'm creating a presentation that I could present to the Fateless team and say, hey, I want to make these things. I think that we should make something similar, or at least use me to make some of these things, because I'm, I guess, egotistical and think that I have a lot to add to things. I guess. So I've created a couple mock-ups. These are specifically only lanyards. I have also, well, I'm working on some T-shirts and some shorts for like clothing. But I think lanyards are like a space that I'm trying to go into personally with my personal art brand. So it's like top of mind for me. So, first off, we have our mock-up of the Kojiki. I think I talked about this either at the end of the last video or post-video, and it was only on stream. If you didn't know, we record these live. So this is my first go-around at like a potential Kojiki lanyard. Super different than the sort of, you know, dreary dark colors. Tried to make it super bright. Tried to keep it on theme. The faction flag is pretty dark anyway, so I wanted to keep it pretty light. So we've got the Kojiki. We've got Olympus. Their faction flag is white and blue, and I was like, well, I just made a white and blue, or a pink and blue lanyard, so kind of want to go with something a little bit different, something a little bit more traditional Greek artwork, like sort of like the pottery and things like that. Very much similar to my bookmarks. I actually used the same the same thing at the top there. I don't know what to call it. Like pattern. So that's Olympus. I actually made a couple different versions of this. And then we have the Aru. I had meant to use a different font for the name, but I couldn't figure out what to do. Also, I'm not totally in love with the colors, but it was meant to be sort of this like, I don't know what color it is, like a blue-green into like a sandy color. I didn't want to use the like true blue of the faction flag, but I wanted some like motifs and like set it up in a way where it. This is also like an experiment for me, right? I'm trying to figure out how I would create things so that it would look good when people wear it. So like I'm thinking about how the lanyard would lay on somebody. So how I want the text to read, and the images to be, like which direction should they face. This is also the actual hieroglyphics for the word Aru, which is in ancient Egyptian is a field of reeds, which is a it was like sort of governed and overseen by Osiris. So it was fun to sort of explore hieroglyphs, and it took a billion years to make these in Adobe Illustrator. They don't even look that great, but it is what it is. So just like the Kojiki one, we've got like Kojiki in Japanese, we've got Aru in hieroglyphs, so that's pretty cool. So this is what I've been working on. I've got more stuff, like I said, in the bank. I'm going to present this all to a couple people in the Fateless team, and we'll see what happens. If you're at all interested in this kind of stuff, let me know. And if it comes to be where this stuff doesn't happen, where they're like, nah, we're good, like you're annoying, but thanks. I'm just gonna make these on my own. Like, like regardless, I'm just gonna do it. And put them on my Etsy shop or whatever. So at some point, things like this will exist in real life, and you will be able to grab them. So if you're interested in that, or if you've made it this far in the video, make sure to like and subscribe. I appreciate you. Comment down below if you appreciate this type of thing, and what you might think of the idea of the different factions changing your home screen in the game. I'm super interested in that. I hadn't thought about it before, but that's good. Anyway, have a good night. Thanks for being here. Bye.